from the club point of view, we went back and we sort of looked at some of our values and our codes of conduct and stuff and thought, well, where do we start? Because obviously this is a value-driven thing, right? So we've drafted a new club code of values, which we sort of didn't even have, and you sort of think, this is sort of pretty basic stuff, right, that we should be looking at.
We've applied for funding with This Girl Can, and we've got a Monday women's program. It's a bit of cardio, a bit of fun. And then obviously from a junior perspective, we're also participating in TAMS, Tennis for Teens, which we're getting a lot of girls, 13, 14 and 16-year-olds, who have actually are now transitioning into coaching.
The people who are here we feel more comfortable with, because everyone's like more inclusive now, and also that like Sam and I, we both play here and we're also coaches here. Yep. So having and there's also another girl coach, so there's lots of accessibility for other girls as well.
We're not only focusing on women though, we're actually focusing on families, and we've seen a real opportunity with the partners of the guys. So where we've had this uplift in membership, a lot of them have been groups of, middle-aged guys, and they've got wives who typically don't play and they can't compete at the same level as the guys. But they've started to also join as members and also get down and play.
We're partway there with our lighting and safety for women at night time. We're about to have a meeting with the Footy and Cricket Club to look at how we can make it the area more of a sporting precinct and improve the lighting overall in the area.
So we've done the same thing, reached out to the Footy and Cricket Club and said, hey, what can we do as a precinct to improve it, not just for us, but because we're kind of the people who are here late at night, like you guys would. You get to see an environment that you go, surely this isn't safe for other folk as well.
We have addressed our lighting around the club. If you turn up our tennis club any time of the night, it's all going to be very well lit. And we've got an all-access court, which we basically got through other grants in previous years, which is open to the whole community. It's always open, and so we've just installed a facility that people can come along any time they like, press the button and they've got lights for an hour.
We're in the process of talking about our toilet reno. We're talking about change tables. Is it going to be unisex? Is that appropriate for the women? Is it encouraging for the women who want to come and get changed or whatever? So we're taking all this into account before we do anything.
We really need to look at funding to actually improve the safety of these precincts where sport is on at night time for women, because it's a across the board problem for all clubs by the sound of it.
We have a lot of inequality at the committee level.
Yep.
So we've had women on the committee,
yep.
But more minority.
Yep.
We've tried our hardest to engage, but we need to work a lot more on that side of things. Also building our women's competition and other participations.
At our club, when I came to the club, I noticed immediately that there wasn't a committee full of women. And in fact, when I came to the club first, I was put on the committee as a social secretary, which kind of said to me everything about where women sat in the club. So along with another group of people, a few extra people who were playing at the club at the time, we decided to try and make some changes at the club. So from there on, it's just gone from there.
One thing that came up was about the coaching personnel being mostly male, and the fact that there isn't a lot of role modelling of leadership in tennis at that level.
They just completely disregarded the women's draw. It wasn't even like they were just like, oh, we won't have time, so we won't do that, like without saying anything. Yeah, it wasn't important to them, exactly. And it was like the tone that he said it to Sam, like he was like, oh no, that's the men's, the women's don't have that.
If you feel like you can go to a committee member and bring that up, that's a really good culture as well then. If you feel empowered that your committee's going to do something with that, but if you also feel empowered enough and safe enough to have a chat to them, then that's not an inappropriate action either.
And that's the thing that we've been very driven to not only live the values, but actually drive the values, and across all aspects of inclusivity as well, where we can. So it's not just about gender, you know, equity, equality. It's actually true inclusion and breaking down a lot of those barriers. It's another point of where it's actually really paid off for the club as well, in membership and everything else. So you do the right thing and it flows through.
And that is a thing that isn't very easy for a lot of people, and having those systems and structures in place where people can speak up and feel accepted, I mean, that's it, right? That's perfect. If we can get that everywhere, we're laughing.
So by us as a tennis community creating more respectful, safe, inclusive environments for women and girls, our women and girls will benefit, but our men and boys will too.